Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Elden Ring. Alright, before we dive into everything, there's one thing I want to do, which is over here. I have already marked it on my map. So what I'm doing is I'm maximizing the amount of FP I have. I did go in respec. I dropped my faith, strength, some of my endurance, and increased my intelligence a little bit, and then put the rest kind of into mind to increase my FP. Originally, I had my mind high enough to essentially make my FP match the amount, more or less match the amount that my Flask of Cerulean Tears plus 12 would restore. The only problem with that was with Lusat's staff equipped, I ended up coming just short of being able to cast Dark Moon a final time. And so, in essence, I was kind of wasting a little bit of my charges. But I also have access to the Cerulean Seed Talisman, which can increase the amount of FP I restore, which will be nice. And I do have a +1 medallion, but there is a +2 out there, so I would like to go and try and get that to maximize the amount of FP I have available to me. So at this point, I'm kind of all in on just spellcasting. I did like the former build where I had access to some alternative ways of healing through faith, and then of course being able to melee with the greatsword, which is great for adventuring, but it's not really that necessary for the boss fights, because the boss fights are just too hectic for me to keep up with the frame rate and everything. So I'd rather keep my distance and just nuke everything to oblivion. The thing I'm concerned about is the final battle is 2 boss fights back to back. Yep, that was afraid of. Oh, that's a problem. Yep, I'm getting out of here. Bye. Okay, so I found where it's at. So yeah, there's an illusionary floor, and you have to either attack or roll through it to make it stop. But you also have to do other stuff, unfortunately. There we go. Thank you. Bye. Alright, and that's the +2. It's not going to make too much of a difference. It's about a 2% difference. So yeah. Gives me another whopping 7 points. And you know what? It was worth it. Alright. Will it let me teleport? Yes, it will. Okay, so with that, we have maximized our FP. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room. I did test it out a few times. Even with the boost from the Cerulean Seed, it's not going to be a full restore, which is fine by me. Just means I have a little spare FP for that first batch of attacks. Alright, time to die. So yeah, this is, as far as I know, it's going to be back-to-back boss fights, and the second boss fights, well, both of them are pretty bad. We'll put it that way. Hey. Yep. Thank you. My biggest concern is health, because I only have 4 flasks for healing. And I kind of use part of it to summon a mimic. Here we are. Oh my god. Thanks for jumping in, Mimic. Well, we have about 20 arcs left. So we'll try doing this with arcs as we do the Walk of Shame here. So yeah, that boss has a lot of nonsense, including teleport attacks. Very similar to a certain boss from Dark Souls 3. But we should be able to skip this, right? Yep, skip it, please. Cool. I'm just gonna run now. God, really? Alright. Ow. Yep. God, that's timing is so bad. Alright, we're gonna make a few adjustments. For now, let's do that until I get used to this. How many do we have left? Okay, we're gonna keep using arcs for now. Once I start getting low, I'll do runs without it. I mean, to be fair, the arcs themselves don't give that much of a boost anymore because my stats are so focused at this point. Really, it gives me a bit extra stamina, and that's about it. But yeah, he has delayed animations for his throws. His bolts will have delayed explosions, and then he has a long widened up nonsense as well on top of everything else. It's pretty much everything you could possibly hate in a boss fight in these From Software games. And he has deceptively long reach. I don't know how I... never mind, thank you. I should have just laid there. Alright. It is doable. I just need the Mimic to draw aggro for a bit, and then blow him up, and then run. Once he starts, once I draw aggro again. And then, we get to do the second part. Which... everything points to the second part being something that you probably should be able to mount for, but you can't. So it's essentially a boss, a big open giant boss without a horse. Alright, go. Oh my god, I don't know how I avoided that. Okay, hey, Mimic. Oh, come on. Nope. Look, I just wanna get away. Alright, that time. Yeah, I knew I was gonna miss that, mistime that. Okay, that's phase 1. Now for hell. And yes, if we die, I believe we still have to fight the previous boss. Have fun! Alright, Mimic is still with us, good. I don't know how I avoided that. Alright, we're gonna go all in. Drink, and then fire. I don't know what that's doing. Alright, no health left. And it looks like I'm barely making a dent. Here comes this attack. Alright, it's just me now. Alright, this nonsense. Okay. So, maybe Moonblade for the staying close and doing Moonblade and hoping for the best. That might be the way to go. But yeah. Health is an issue. So is FP, unfortunately. I don't know how much this actually restores. But... oh my god, I need strength for this stupid thing. Right. Oh, actually, I mean, that's not an issue, because this makes it so I have enough, right? Yes. Okay. Noted. So my strength is actually too low to use a staff, because of course it is. But yeah, I believe you have to fight both bosses again. So I get to do all of that again. Yep. Gotta do both again. Oh, wow. I don't know how you did that to me. Uh-huh. That's gonna hit me. I dodged the hit, but not the explosion, because that's how this works. Come on. Oh my god, my freaking pet is using the shards. Because of course. Oh, here comes this. Hey, there's a border. Hey, Mimic, can you do something? Alright, here comes this. Oh, it's going after the... okay. Nope. Oh, really? The last one goes after me. Okay. So yeah, the blades are showing promise. Mainly because he's so big, he takes multiple hits from it. Problem is, he fights in probably the most horrible way, which any character that has a melee build already knows how annoying this freaking boss is. Alright, main thing. Take this off. I didn't even notice the FP restoring at all, so I'm not going to worry about it. I literally can't put any items down because my mimic will try to use them. So that's a problem. What do I want to try? Shorten spellcasting time. Yeah, we're gonna need that. Yeah, I need all of it because I'm gonna run out of resources otherwise. What I need is to get through phase 1 with majority of my flask, which is not easy because this guy's a jerk. Perfect. Keep going. Alright. That was bullshit. So, despite it being magic damage, it didn't get stopped by the orb. Also, it was off the ground thanks to the orb, but apparently it explodes so high that I can't avoid it that way either. That was something I was hoping to try for the ring attack that the Elden Beast does. Hoping to just float above them, but I don't think that works. Alright, well, we'll try a few more times and hope for the best. Ow. Nope. Nope. Oh, there it is. Nope. I don't know what you're doing, but I don't want that. Yeah, I think that was the grapple move. Nope, keep rolling. Oh, I almost got out of it. That would have been nice. So my orb didn't connect. Okay. That bullshit. does it once in this phase, okay. So yeah, I just want to get close. Can you let me? Guess not. Not sure how that hit me, but okay. Okay. Okay, that's promising. I don't know what was going on. I can't tell you. But yeah, Adula's Moonblade. Elden Remembrance. And 500,000 runes. Alright. So at this point, we have some choices. But I guess before we do anything, take the power, blah 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 blah. It was the vassal beast of the greater will and living incarnation of the concept of order. So yeah, we have choices. We can become the next Elden Lord or some nonsense, or we can, contact our good buddy Ronnie here.
The battle is over, I see. I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
go. Beat the game. I believe there's been some new content, I think, since with all the patches and stuff. I definitely took some long hiatuses from this game, usually because I recorded a bunch of them and then I would go and work on other things. But it's finally done. Obviously there's New Game Plus that you can do, and it gradually gets harder and harder. You can also use that New Game Plus to potentially get duplicates of certain items that you may want. But for me, I'm probably going to be good to go for now. I do like this probably the best out of the From Software games I've played. I've only played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and then Elden Ring, because I don't have consoles, so I don't get to experience things like Bloodborne, unfortunately. But yeah, it has plenty of content. It definitely has, I won't say cut and paste, but definitely has very reused themes with all the crypts and the caves, and then, you know, those those types of dungeons. There's not too many variety in those, but they usually find some interesting ways to still change them up a bit. And even then, just as just a raw exploration game, it's just there's a lot to explore out there, even if it's not really necessary, especially towards the end. I mean, towards the end, you need so many runes to level up that it just becomes less and less viable to grind, essentially, through everything. But yeah, I definitely like it. I mean, if left to my devices, I probably would have tried to explore every nook and cranny and go to every possible cave there is. But the only thing is I didn't need it. Once you get the primary stuff for your build, there's not really any point in exploring. I will say, for certain builds, you don't really get very many viable options, especially until much later in the game. For example, whips, there's not very much variety. There's essentially the regular whip pretty much through the beginning. I think you can get the bladed whip once you get towards the college areas. I think it's not even the college. I think it's the place where you first meet Ronnie, or not first meet Ronnie, but her original abode. And then after that, you don't really. The whip options are few and far between, and the good whip, unfortunately, is through a quest line that doesn't get completed until pretty much practically the end of the game type situation, as well as from one NPC that you fight that's also at the end of the game. But for the most part, most builds are viable. I've definitely enjoyed watching a number of challenge videos of people doing things. There's people that have done runs where they use nothing but items, like consumable items such as flask and stuff, and the fact that the game kind of supports that is amazing. It's definitely almost impossible in some cases, but they managed to pull it off. And then I think I saw one run where someone used only support abilities and then let their summons do all the work. I definitely like the spirit summoning. It's a lot more. It's great for people that can't really handle the online stuff, and the online stuff, unfortunately, is still as unstable as ever, in my opinion. Which unfortunately means I didn't really show very much interest in the PvP. The PvP, of course, is super unbalanced, I believe. But like I said, I'm not really an expert on that, and I won't delve too far into it. For me, it's just the fact that it's the frame rate and the consistency of like the hitboxes make PvP not very fun for me. I don't think I really ever went too far into PvP except in Dark Souls 2, and even then that had its numerous issues. But like I said, overall this game was pretty fun. It does still have the same usual issues that From Software has, which is all of its quest lines are completely impossible to figure out without the aid of a wiki almost. There's a few you can do, but most of them you can't. Because the fact it's actually even worse in this game. They did, do some quality of life stuff that like kind of show where people are on the map, so you don't have to memorize everything. But when they move to someplace else, you still have to go and find them again. And you may have noticed the map is pretty big, and there's a lot of places where people can hide and be tucked away in. I mean, literally, Alexander is in lava in one part. Like, you can't. If you don't happen to go over there in that area for whatever reason, like, or you don't let patches push you over, or the fact that you may have never actually encountered patches at all at that point, in which case he's probably already dead. Like, literally, just that quest line's done. There was one quest line that actually gets you a really good caster item that I can't get because I did not know about it, and it's once you get to a certain point, you can't actually continue it. So yeah, but like I said, there's definitely a good variety. I kind of wish there was a little bit more you can do with the summons per se, because once you kind of find the best ones, there's no real point in using the others. I am very glad that the Mimic is as strong as it is, because otherwise I probably would not be able to get through this game, because the bosses are even more aggressive than they are in Dark Souls 3, in which case in Dark Souls 3 they were kind of trying to, it felt like they were trying to match like Bloodborne's aggression type stuff, and in this game they literally were, I mean, they literally have one of the runes that gives you the what do you call? I don't even know what it's called. The mechanic that lets you, when you attack, you regain lost health and things like that. Speaking of the runes, they kind of suck. Pretty much, you get that first one, and you pretty much just use that first one. There's no reason to use the other ones. The stat increase is just so huge, even if it's on stats that you don't use. I don't know if they ever rebalanced them or not. Like I said, I haven't really been keeping track of this game. I've been kind of just finishing it up, just to kind of get the playthrough done, because I have, you know, other games I want to work on. But yeah, I think that's kind of, in general, it. Like I do like the setting a lot better than the Dark Souls. It kind of has a bit. It feels like the areas have a bit more to them than, you know, just everyone being dead type situation. I guess it is. It's hard to describe. It feels like there's actually like stuff going on, and in some ways you can actually participate in it a little bit more. That was kind of, I think that was the feedback I gave on the end of my Dark Souls 3 playthrough. It was like, hey, they talk about all these areas, and I kind of wish I was in them, and instead they decided to just blow up the world, essentially. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Let's go ahead and skip. Begin Journey 2. If you do not start over now, you can choose to begin Journey 2 later at the Table of Lost Grace. No, we're not going to begin yet. I'll see if I can get to... Yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can get from the final boss. So, don't think there's any gear. Alright, so you can get Marika's Hammer, which has holy, does have holy on it and has face scaling. Stone hammer made in the lands of the Newman, outside the lands between, the tool with which Queen Marika shattered the Elden ring and Radagon attempted to repair it. The hammer partially broke upon shattering the ring, becoming splintered with rune fragments. Gold breaker, leap up high, and while suspended in midair, imbue the rune shard with light before smashing it down hard onto the ground. The heroic Radagon signature attack. And then here we have the Sacred Relic Sword, which also has face scaling. Sword wrought from the remains of a god who should have lived a life eternal. Thoughts of what the weapon's portends are many and varied. Some consider it the mark of a great sin or a sign of great devastation. Some think it as the end of an age, while others the beginning. Wave of gold, imbue the sword with bygone golden glory, then fire it at foes. A wide golden wave fans out forward, sweeping through all enemies caught in the path. So yeah, bunch of faith stuff. But yeah, like I said, the crafting system, I did like that it was there. I definitely did use it some. I did like the variety of different, like, pots and stuff. I didn't like the fact that it was kind of, you had to find cracked pots in order to actually use pots. I think that was kind of not great. But I do like the variety of darts, daggers, and thrown weapons that you can kind of mess around with. I know in some of the early games I definitely would use them. It was very kind of neat, like just even having something like bone darts. I like the fact that if you hit a boss in the head with a bone dart, it can make them flinch, which can be kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, there's just so many ways you can play this game, and probably my only complaint is, unfortunately, a lot of the bosses had an insane amount of aggression to the point where you didn't really have openings. And then, of course, the same issue as all From Software games is they're not very good with big giant monsters, unfortunately, and they keep trying, and I wish they would just stop and give up. like I said, as much as the people hate the fact that Dark Souls 2 was mostly humanoids, that was the good point. The humanoids were at least easier to track. At that final boss fight that we just did, I don't know what was going on. I had to turn off targeting at some point just because it kept whipping my camera around, and it was just rough. But that being said, like I said, this game is a lot of fun. You get a lot of content for the price, even if it's maybe some of it may be a bit redundant. And yeah, maybe I'll come back and play it on my own sometime. But for right now, I have so much on my backlog that I'm going to be busy for a while. So until then, for those who actually got through all 90 plus parts of this Let's Play, I thank you, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of the Let's Plays that I'll be doing throughout the years. So, I am the Depressed Eeyore. This was Elden Ring. I'll see you guys next time.